Walter Downings served with the 57th Battalion of the AIF. He wrote of his experience of war on the Western Front in the book To the Last Ridge. This morning, Sergeant Paul Obersteller of the Australian Defence Force will read an excerpt taken from Downings' description of the opening moments of the attack at Villa-Bretonneux.
The moon sank behind the clouds. There were houses burning in the town, throwing a sinister light on the scene. It was past midnight. Men muttered, "It's Anzac Day," smiling to each other, enlivened by the omen. The die was now cast. It seemed that there was nothing to do but go straight forward and die hard. There was no artillery firing on either side, and we were glad. All was quiet as the grave. To the two companies of the 57th faced to the right to form a flank guard. They were immediately involved in fighting with German outposts. At the same time, the main force, led into a bunch by converging belts of wire, became crowded and entangled in attempting to get through. It was seen. German flares of all kinds shot into the air. Reds, whites, greens, bunches of golden rain. A storm of machine gun fire came from the right and the front. Remarkably, few were hit. A snarl came from the throat of the mob, the fierce, low growl of tigers scenting blood. There was a howling as of demons as the 57th, fighting mad, drove through the wire, through the 59th, who sprang to their sides, through their enemy. Their yelling rose high and passed to the 58th and the 60th, who were in another mob on the left. Baying like hellhounds, they also charged. The wild crow rose to a voluminous, vengeful roar that was heard by the 13th Brigade far on the right of Villers-Bretonneux.
Thank you, Sergeant Obersteller. Walter Downing had been awarded the Military Medal for his actions during a battle at Polygon Wood. He survived the war, returned home, and died many years later in 1965. Another Australian soldier, Sergeant Eric Foote, like so many fathers, sons, brothers, cousins, uncles and friends, would never return home. Upon learning that her son was missing, Eric's mother Violet wrote repeatedly to both the Army and the Red Cross seeking confirmation of what had happened to him. In February 1917, nearly 5 months after being told her son was missing, Violet penned one final letter that will this morning be read by Lieutenant Colonel Hazel Donald, retired, Executive Member of the War Widows Guild of Australia.
Please, would you mind trying to help me to find my son? He was wounded on the 3rd of last September in France, and the only information I can get from the Australian Military Headquarters is that he was wounded. But as to what hospital he was taken to, they do not know. I know how difficult it is for you to find our boys, as there are so many hospitals in private houses. I believe that there has been a very large one given over for that purpose in the Musington district. I do not know the name of the house, but I have a feeling that it being almost in London itself, that my boy may be there. You may perhaps smile and think me foolish, but please, could you humour me and see if he is there? I have been seeking him for all but 6 months. His name is Eric J.T. Foote. Oh, if you will only look and help me. I am willing to pay for any expense or extra trouble which it may cause you. I am enclosing a photo. It may possibly help you. He is just 26 years of age. Please tell him his mother wants him and to think of her waiting for him. How shall I thank you for your help and goodness, for I'm sure you will do so. Believe me to be yours gratefully, Violet Foote.
Thank you, Colonel Donald. Eric was killed in battle during an attack at Moke Farm in September 1916. He was just 25 years old. Reports collected at the time indicate he was wounded in the hand during the attack, but refused treatment and volunteered for whatever work he could do, including retrieving wounded men from the field. Eric Foote would never wear the military medal awarded to him for his devotion to duty. Though Eric has no known grave, he is named and remembered in perpetuity on the wall to my left.